Trump supporters are very upset after the No Kings protest, saying that they're ineffective and that nothing will change. Check this out. This guy posted an aerial view of the massive crowd in Boston for the No Kings protest, saying, "What does this accomplish? Absolutely nothing. They will go to bed tonight still without a king in this country because there is not one, and Trump will still be the president in the morning." But here's a little historical lesson. This is Washington, D.C. in 1963. What did this accomplish? The answer is everything. And that is why the GOP is working so hard to redistrict the United States of America. They know that millions of people across the world see right through their lies and that they do not serve the American people, they serve the elites. But it's crazy because they said the same thing about the civil rights movement, the Women's March, and every single major protest that challenged the people in power. The MAGA crowd doesn't fear that these protests will accomplish nothing. They are afraid that they will accomplish exactly what they were intended to. That being unity, awareness, and the start of real change. People across the entire world came together today to protest against Donald Trump. And all the MAGA people who think the entire United States agree with them except for like 1% of the radical Antifa terrorists had their egos absolutely shattered today. Early estimates are saying nearly 7 million people took part in the demonstrations across more than 2,700 cities and towns. That means this is one of the largest single-day nationwide protests in U.S. history. That's not silence, and it's definitely not a flop. That's a nation speaking in one voice.
MAGA said the No Kings protest was a Hate America rally. MAGA said the No Kings protest would be filled with Hamas supporters and violent Antifa terrorists. I, along with 50,000 others, was at the No Kings protest in downtown LA. There were no arrests for violence, no members of the completely made-up Antifa organization, and there was not a single sign or any evidence of any supporters of Hamas. All I saw in LA were 50,000 Americans who cherish their freedoms, 50,000 Americans who believe that dissent is not treason, 50,000 Americans who believe that outlawing dissent is unconstitutional, and it's what fascists do. Thanks to the millions who came out to the 2,600 No Kings protests across America, and to the millions more who joined No Kings protests across the world, it was not just a powerful show of solidarity, it was strong evidence that the so-called violent threat of Antifa is a fiction completely made up by the MAGA team that pulls Trump's puppet strings. MAGA needs an imaginary Antifa threat in order to demonize and outlaw all political opponents of MAGA. And how did Trump react to the millions of patriotic Americans who came out to express their dissent? He posted this, a video of himself literally pooping on American citizens. In his heart of hearts, Trump thinks it's appropriate to poop on people who are peacefully exercising their constitutional rights. The takeaway from yesterday, which was possibly the largest protest in U.S. history, is that the people are united against this unhinged, immature, and dangerous king. Protest is vital, but it must lead to political action. Keep organizing, keep documenting, and in California, vote yes on Prop 50 in order to do what is temporarily necessary in order to have a chance for the Democrats to retake control of Congress in 2026. Like, comment, share, and follow me on Substack for more in-depth coverage. The link is in my bio.
MAGA is spending an obscene amount of time talking about the No Kings protest. If they're unbothered by it, and if it changes nothing, then why are you wasting all this time talking about it? Why don't you, govern or something?
Why did I just find out that the No Kings protest was literally pointless? What? I was hyping it up, but it turns out that people were literally protesting in designated areas, working with the police to just stand in a street that they already blocked off. What is the point? What is the point? No one's advocating for people to go out there and get shot, but aren't protests supposed to disrupt the peace? Isn't that the whole point? You're supposed to be an inconvenience so that people are annoyed with you, so that they're fuck, fine, we'll do something about it. Not what was all this fanfare? And I swear to God, you can't trust nobody. You can't trust no politicians, because even the ones who claim to agree with us and oppose what we are protesting, they literally just work with the people who we oppose. They're like, oh yeah, I'm with you guys. All right, so we're going to designate this street so that everyone can go protest in this street so that's not too much of a hassle. We're fucking screwed.
No Kings. Not my Athens. We didn't have this back in the day. Is this serious right now? Yes, they are.
Yo, these people should be embarrassed. So she went to a peaceful protest, right? Nobody bothered her, despite the fact that she wanted to provoke people. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
Is there any portion of the population denser than MAGA right now? Like, oh, you libtard going out to protest no kings? We ain't got a king. Yeah, no shit, exactly. That's why we're doing it. You don't sit around and wait until you have a king to go out and protest no kings. I swear, they do not understand subtleties, nuance, reading between the lines. It has to be black and white for them. They see the words no and kings and they think, well, that means there must be a king. Oh, there's no king? What are you protesting against? It's because you have a president of the United States posting pictures of himself as a king, proclaiming he wants to be a dictator and his followers want him to be a dictator. He is occupying American cities with American forces. These are the signs of an autocrat, of a dictator, whatever word you want to put on there. That is the sign of somebody who wants to be king. Why is he making this ballroom if he plans to leave in a few years? I guarantee he doesn't plan to. Why are there Trump 28 hats if he plans on not running again? Like, these are all actions of somebody who wants to be a dictator, who wants to be a king. But MAGA can't get that through their dense, thick skulls. I don't understand. People are speaking out against this administration because they do not want a king, not because one already exists.
I really want to thank everybody who participated in the No Kings rally yesterday, because I just checked and we still don't have a king. So that's really exciting, obviously. And it's clearly due to all of you guys' hard work and all of the protesting, because I mean, we didn't have a king before, but we still don't. And we obviously have you guys to thank for that. So keep it up.
If you can go to a No King's Day protest, then you don't have a king. I don't get why all of these people are trying to say that Donald Trump is acting like a king. I get that there's a check and balance system in the United States government, but he is the president of the United States. He gets to do what he wants. Like, I get that he said he took freedom of speech away, but I think he was just joking. I think that the Democrats were just taking it out of context when he said that. Even though he is using government websites to call his political oppositions lunatics and try to sound violent against them. On top of that, I don't understand why everyone's freaking out that he wants the government to just be loyalist. It's not like our entire government system was set up to be nonpartisan in government entities to make sure that every single person gets access to our government entities. Plus, everyone's just being so mean to ICE and taking out of context. They need to know the full situation as to why they needed Black Hawk helicopters to come down and gather people, including children, in the middle of the night. And you know, I would vote for him a third term, because why not?
7 million peaceful protesters just made MAGA Republicans look like absolute fools. You know, all week how we've been hearing how it's the Hate America rally and Antifa, and there's going to be this. Not a single report of an arrest. Not a protest-related arrest anyway. Even the NYPD released an official statement saying that over 100,000 protesters in all 5 boroughs today, not a single protest-related arrest was made. And this is throughout the country. Now, there were 2 incidents, one in Marietta, Georgia, where somebody didn't like the protest and got out of his vehicle to initiate an altercation with protesters. Of course, the Georgia police let him go. And then another one in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach, where a woman was taken into custody by Myrtle Beach police after brandishing a firearm near a group of demonstrators. She was taken into custody without incident, but those were not protesters. So who are the violent ones again? Oh, wait, we know.
I've seen some version of this post all over the internet, basically saying, what's the point of this protest? It's not going to accomplish anything. Donald Trump will still be president tomorrow. You're not changing any minds. And I just have to ask every single person who posted that thought, why did you post that thought? You're not changing any minds. You're not going to make the protests go away by posting that thought. It's almost as if you wanted to express yourself. You saw something that you didn't understand or maybe you didn't like, and you wanted people to be aware of that because you're, what's the word? A human being. And human beings want to express themselves, especially when they think things are going in a direction that's bad for the entire country, right? So maybe when you're out there thinking, maybe I should post my thoughts about how stupid all these other people are for letting their thoughts be known, stop, just relax a little bit, look in the mirror, and just sort of soak in the irony of what you're about to do, and then maybe don't do it. Go play pickleball or something, I don't know.
I've seen a lot of critiques of the No Kings protest. And to be completely honest, I think that a lot of the points people are making are really, really valid. But I do just want to offer a few points that I think offer a different perspective. First, there are a lot of really rural and isolated communities where it can feel very dangerous to be one of the few people who are more on the left or more progressive. And it can actually be really hard to figure out how to connect with those people. Something like a No Kings protest is really, really helpful for people in isolated communities to kind of be able to drive and immediately connect and immediately see people who share similar ideas. Secondly, I really agree that protests can feel meaningless, especially if they're not part of a larger strategy. But I think it really is important to understand that a lot of people really don't know how to protest, how to be civically disobedient, how to boycott, etc. And this can just be a very good entry point for them. I was at the No Kings protest today, and I asked a person beside me if she protests often. She noted that she was a nurse, and over the last few weeks, she's come in and seen a lot of really, really sick babies because parents are refusing to give their babies Tylenol when they have a fever. And it was really the first time that she realized how this administration is impacting people in their real lives. And so she started showing up in order to figure out how to connect to people, how to connect with groups, how can she organize. I know that a lot of people are like, well, how didn't you know? Why are you just showing up right now? I'm not one of those people. I think whenever you show up is a great time to show up. I was glad that nurse was there holding her sign, trying to figure out how to become more involved because she really cares about these babies who are coming in sick because of the information that their parents are receiving. Thirdly, and this is probably going to be the least popular thing, it was a boost for morale. I think it is important sometimes for us just to show up and connect and see that a lot of people are on our side. Lastly, I think people just need the ability to build up their resilience, need the ability to show up in person, need the ability to see other people, need the ability to maybe be in front of a police force and feel what that feels like, and build that courage and build that resistance. And I think that even though something like a No Kings protest can be very performative, I do think it can be a good training for our nervous systems. If you're against something like No Kings, I understand. I think your concerns are valid. If No Kings was the first kind of protest you've been to, I hope you had a good experience. Most importantly, I want to say nobody wants to be doing this. We just want to be able to afford food and sleep and want health care. And we want to be able to pursue our hobbies. No one wants to be organizing and fucking protesting. But here we are. Here we are. So if you've just joined us, if you're just awaking to this, welcome. If you're not new to this, if you're true to this, thank you. Stay safe. Sending love.
All the people are jumping on here asking, why would you have a No Kings rally? We don't have a king. Wake up, everybody. I guess you didn't look. So telling, and I'll tell you why. They're questioning what's the point of it. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. You know what that tells me? That they are not for any kind of show of public angst unless it turns into something violent. Because they defend January 6th very strongly, as if it were the right of the people. And it's just so telling that their version of protest involves some sort of a violent attack. And unless you have an interruption or a violent attack on something, you're wasting your time. So sometimes you have to really listen to what people say because what they're saying is extremely telling. So today, we are going to show them how when you get together in large groups of people peacefully, a lot can get done. And just the fact that they're questioning this is the first step. They're aware, and the awareness is very big. So let's all get out there. Let's do our thing. Let's show them how to do it right. And when they wonder why we did it, they won't need to wonder anymore.
Hey, are you a MAGA person? So do you really believe Mike Johnson when he says that we're showing up October 18th to hate on America? I mean, do you really believe that? I really sincerely want to know, because I'm thinking with my stupid little head, how do you hate on a country when you show up unified together and speak a message that you want your president to hear because he doesn't listen any other way? Is that hating America? Or is that like, hey, we hired these people in government to do a job, to work for us, to identify our issues and come up with policies that help us, right? I mean, I thought that's what government was for. But anyhow, do you really believe that people are going to take time out of their day on a weekend, right, and show up in large numbers, knowing that we're under attack by a Gestapo and can get arrested at any time? Do you really think that's what we're doing to hate America? Because I think there's much better ways to show that you're hating a country, or to undermine a country, or to, destroy a country and its constitution. But it seems like people that go to protests are ones that are, what is that? What is that word? Something about we have rights and we have the ability to something. Is it liberty, freedoms? No. Is it something with the Constitution? Something about peacefully assembling? I don't know. I'm so confused. I keep going to these protests, and then I keep hearing from our president that there was all kinds of violence, and there's cities that are war zones and shit like that. But I also don't see any evidence or facts when the president is telling us that we have cities that are war zones and that protesters are showing up and being violent. I've been to these protests. Have you, MAGA? So are you going to believe Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and say that millions of Americans are showing up to hate America? Or are you going to go to one of these protests near you because there's multiple protests in every state, not just Washington, D.C.? How about you show up, talk to the people, find out why your fellow American is taking time out of their day to go to a location and hold up a sign and put themselves in danger. Think about it.